former Barclays Capital Investment Manager and financial analyst Uri Man. He joins us now to break them all down. And
Ainsley, great to see you. By the way, I'm sorry I missed the memo. I see today is Wear Yellow Day.
Yellow, I know.
So,
what are you doing? What are you thinking? We'll forgive you.
But you guys look great. You look great. Well, you know, that's a good question. I mean, why is there a disconnect? And the question should really be, is there a disconnect? What's going on here is the FDIC is essentially trying to get more power than the comptroller. But, you know, not since the days of Howard Stern fighting the FCC have we seen government versus the private sector. I mean, this is really turning into a soap opera. It's just it's disappointing. There's no leadership and courage in Washington. Let's just face the music and make decisions and get things done. And that's just not happening. And unfortunately, our entire economy, our way of life is being threatened by the fact that, you know, we're spending too much. We've got too much debt, and we just have no direction, no plan. How are we going to get out of this mess? And it's frightening. Consumer confidence, you know, it's like going after a long-lost girlfriend after a devastating breakup. I mean, you could write love letters, you can offer her a marriage ring.
And you're never going to get her back.
You can do it. And it's going to take a long time to get them back, and it's going to take a long time to put Americans back to work, and we just have to work very hard at it, and you know, and be optimistic. A cocktail party here at the Bank Atlantic Center Arena. I met a couple, husband and wife, both work at Citigroup, and both are in profitable business units making profits for the firm. Citigroup needs to be able to compensate these people. Neil, I'm absolutely terrified of the current situation, you know, from the bottom of my heart, especially after I listened to this last presidential speech. With all due respect, it just made me feel like our government has absolutely no plan and no strategy to get us out of this mess. And if you listen to the tone of our friends overseas in Britain, you can hear their voices are ones of emergency. They're talking about an emergency budget. And our government here is saying, let's wait till December. Maybe by then we'll think of some sort of plan, fiscal commission that's going to get together and think of something to get us through this trouble. And you know, I'm very fearful. I'm afraid that this country is going to end up like Greece, Spain, and Portugal. And, you know, I'm not talking about the World Cup. I'm talking about really a complete disaster, you know, an end to our way of life. Tom, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. You know, I don't think she's correct with her prediction. Everybody's heard these doom and gloom stories about people walking out of Bergdorf Goodman and Neiman Marcus with white bags because they're embarrassed about the fact that they're shopping in luxury locations.
The man can dance. The man is rich. Who wouldn't want this one? Well, I'll tell you one thing. You're a very nice man, and I can tell you're very sincere, and that's the most important thing. And
Thanks,
I really hope you find love.
Oh, I appreciate it.
You deserve it. You're
Thank you
sweet.
very much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I'll be watching tonight.
It was really nice to meet you.
Oh.
Thanks for your time.
He touched me. Oh, he touched me again.
I think what's important to notice here is that a day like today really marks the fact that we are in a very anxious environment, a lot of tension, and I think deep down the traders and people watching Wall Street, including the current administration, they realize that the bull market is over. And what does that mean? I mean, I remember, I do. I think so. I think this sort of event and the eventual potential cooling of economic growth because of a freeze in the credit markets is a real issue. And I agree with your last guest in the sense that most people look at their boss and they say, if I work from home, they're going to think that I'm not being dedicated, I'm not being diligent, I'm actually you know, so a lot of people come into the office for FaceTime, and that will probably never change.
And by the way, pink actually does match yellow, so you're doing A-okay.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
All right, so we look good together.
You're welcome anytime. Thank you so much.
Well, you know, it's summer. I mean, look,
is he hitting on me on live TV?
It's summer. It's summer.
Did that just happen?
We look great, so it's summer. You know, it's nice.
I absolutely think we're going into a double dip, unfortunately, and we have some really tough decisions to make. And you know, our kids and our grandkids are going to judge us on this. They're going to say, "What did you do, you know, back in 2010 when the country was on the brink of collapse? And were you ready to get your legislators to make tough decisions?" And that's what we need right now. We need tough decisions.
I don't care about them, actually. As long as I skate by, I'll be fine with that. But guys, thank you all very, very much. Tomorrow.
The customers are Apple, the customers are Sony, Panasonic, and this gives them access to those customers. So I think it's a good move. These people are under stress, and when they are under stress, they write things and they say things that shouldn't be taken literally. It doesn't mean, you know, if you're on the football field, you know, somebody's about to tackle might say, I'm going to kill you. Does it really mean he's going to kill you, or are these people just saying things because it's all part of the psyche? It's been a dream in America that everybody can stay home with their kids and do work for home, but what people realize is that, you know, when you're staying at home and doing laundry and hanging out with the kids, the quality of time, it's not the same as staying at home and looking at the computer. I mean, it's just not the same because you are totally distracted. The kids know that you're in la-la land and that you're really focused on work. So really, is this improving quality? I mean, I don't know. So.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but also
This is sort of like, you think about the parents that tell the kids, when school starts, you're not going to be able to watch TV. So they're all spending a lot of time watching TV over the summer because they know they can. So millions of dollars that went to AIG, to save AIG, actually ended up in the hands of Goldman Sachs. So the whole system, there's a lot of distrust about what's happened in the past, and people are looking at these bonuses, and it makes their blood boil. Well, Neil, thanks for having me. I got to tell you, this sort of focusing on these numbers, it really upsets me from the bottom of my heart, adding a few thousand jobs, and specifically them being census workers, and our government celebrating that we're creating jobs. The reality here is our unemployment rate is higher than ever. I mean, we're seeing job deterioration at the highest pace since World War II. If you add up all the people that have left the workforce, that are either working part-time and were working full-time before because they got their days cut, hours cut, or people who are just enrolled in school because they're hoping that in the future there might be a job out there for them. The real unemployment rate is over 15%. Yeah, well, I can't even count on one hand how many times I wanted to throw my Windows Vista computer out the window. What happens next is suddenly the government is running these companies with some sort of political agenda. I made her a cup of coffee, I made her an espresso, and I started thinking to myself in my head, if I didn't go to Starbucks this entire next year, I could save a lot of money. And this phenomenon is happening all across the country. People are staying home to eat, and General Mills is benefiting from this. I don't think so. It's not. I mean, we really need to stop demonizing Wall Street. As far as I'm concerned, this is still an economic, a capitalist society, and really, these companies need to have the ability to compensate their people. And maybe at NYU, you're preparing graduates for a socialist economy, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm not ready for that. Let me tell you something. The government should not be involved in setting compensation for employees. This is a really slippery slope. Ice cream flavor?
Well, I'm a big fan of the cookies and cream myself, but since you asked, of course.
They own the Haagen-Dazs brand, and they are the largest manufacturer of cereals in the United States. So people are definitely going to be staying home more often and eating. So they're going to benefit from that. I mean, if you look everywhere, everybody knows you go to a store, nobody's shopping, and stores are closing, and sooner or later, these owners of shopping centers and developers are going to have to try to give their shopping centers back to the banks.
By the way, pink actually does match yellow, so you're doing A-okay.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
All right, so we look good together.
You're welcome anytime. Thank you so much.
Well, it's summer. I mean, look.
Uri, James, thanks for the spirited debate.
All right, thanks for your time. Thanks, Professor Berman.
That's the best news Uri came up with. You put it out there that you're not going to CNN. Glad to have you here.
Yeah.